Vinod. So I'll come back with this next two feedback for Muki as well as Emmanuel. To start with Muki, the good aspects of the speech was about he related his topic with respect to the time he joined in Toastmasters, how he went into the Meraki and the whole episode of his whole speech. So the two simple recommendations, Muki, for you to think about is one is based on those speeches which I heard in Meraki from you and as well as the content of it, which TMOD has partially touched upon as a Greek and Latin, I have a very simple idea for you to break it down, which I practiced it a few months ago when I was having a lengthy speeches is curtail your whole prepared speech into a simple table topic speech and put them into 4 minutes as a target and keep only two major points in terms of content development. That will help you to concise all the words and concentrate toward only the objective of a speech, which again I say here, which is missing as like a couple of previous speeches. So reduce your whole speech content into less than 400, 500 words. Keep it very simple, make it concise so that your thoughts, which is wavering and going away from the central point of the discussion, will curtailed. You will have a fabulous, crisp and a clear speech which can reach even someone here from the second minute or third minute. The second suggestion is something called very famous in terms of contest language. They say foundation phrase. Use a particular phrase or a statement throughout the speeches. Here it worked in a reverse manner for you. I see there are at least after 55 count, I stopped counting also. You use the word reference more than that. So can you think about how can you put them into a kind of a phrase and take it to the positive side of your speech, so that can help you to keep these thoughts in the running in the audience mind, rather than they just remember only refresh. They can think about something really important. How can I remember the whole speech with a simple foundation phrase? These are all the two simple suggestions for you, Muki. Come back to the speaker number 5, Emmanuel. There is a great learning from the speeches about you had limited your speech. Categorically, you mentioned about 3 things. I'm going to talk about the power element of it. So that puts us in a very simple thought that, okay, first is gone, second is gone, third is coming it. So that's the one simple learning I would say from the speech, which is positive side of it. Coming back to the improvement area, one area again improvement comes is like, can you clearly define the objective of a speech, which we are missing predominantly in the whole meeting today. Engaging humor has icebreaker, research and presenting, evaluation, giving evaluation. So if you can put your objective in a place for an evaluator, also for the audiences, because engaging humor is one of the recently added path, and it is a very tough one, at least for me. If you make your objective very clear to the audience as well as evaluator, that makes you to evaluate also whether you are able to achieve them or not, or should I need to move, where should I want to improve it. That's the only suggestion for you, Emmanuel. With this, I thoroughly enjoy the whole 5 speeches. I'll give it back to Ashok for the next segment of panel evaluation.
Thank you, Satish. So here I am to evaluate the delivery part of both the speeches. So as always, I love listening to Toastmaster Muki. Most of his speeches are conversational. So he tries to, it is like having a discussion with him. And towing the same line that Satish gave, let's uncomplicate it for the audience. Any speech, we should not let the audience think what this speech is about. It should be point number 1, 2, 3, only 3 points or only 2 points, and then support that 2 points with the story or your experience. Just 3 points, and it will actually improve the ability to this way by reducing the pause and because you know that you are going to
excuse me.
I have spoken number 1, supporting evidence, number 2, supporting evidence, number 3. That's actually okay. Overall, I enjoyed your speech. Coming to the 3 minutes of hell by Manuel, what I love about this is experimenting. Right? Humor is not everyone's forte, and I have tried it and I have failed miserably. And Emmanuel, that's a great attempt in trying to experiment with humor. Great first step. What is that you can work on is again in the name of suspense building. Until the last minute, I was not able to figure out what this entire fiction is all about. Is this a dream that you are trying to talk about? Only finally I was able to figure it out that it is you are actually trying to speak from the washing machine that you are having at your home. It took me a lot of time to figure that out. So if you can little bit make it uncomplicated and make it more simpler for the audience to understand with a good opening, that would have been great, because we would have enjoyed that speech. This mechanical, chemical, thermal. I know you are a mechanical engineer, but that I found it little bit difficult to comprehend that. Overall, I enjoyed both the speeches, and now I hand it over to Arti for the vocal variety part of the evaluation. Over to you, Arti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashok. Muki, as usual, an interesting perspective, refresh, and most needed topic of the hour. But though we were talking about refresh and relaxation, what I felt you could have made sure that was there in your speech was energy. Vocal variety is all about the kind of energy that you want to bring in. If your speech is low on energy, you're talking about something that is quite sad, or you're trying to show that you're tired or disinterested. If your energy is high, it conveys a different message. For me, in your speech, one thing that was absent was energy, because of which I was not able to understand what emotion are you connecting with your speech. So if you could start working on your energy, that would be great. The second area was rate of speech. Again, I personally felt your rate of speech was high. When I say it was high, there were some portions where you were running and then you would go slow and again you would start speeding up. Now this speeding up is perfectly fine, but you have to make sure it does not become difficult for the listener to follow. That's where I felt that you could have worked on that little area in terms of rate of speech. Yeah. For Emmanuel, I think one area that you excelled in, Emmanuel, was the sounds and the usage where you had, the mother tongue phrase. Sorry about that. Wherever you had sounds and phrases like that lojak mojak, I'm sorry, I'm not getting it right. That was quite natural. You got the pitch right. You were able to get the intonation right. But you kind of took the same intonation and you applied it to English. English intonation pattern is different from our mother tongue. Simple example, mother tongue, we stress all the syllables. English, we don't. So if you're able to bring in the same kind of intonation, but keep it based on the patterns of English intonation, I think this would have been perfect in terms of vocal variety. Overall, Muki, energy and rate of speech, and Emmanuel, you need to be more natural rather than forcefully bring in intonation and pauses is what I felt. Thank you so much, and back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much for that wonderful evaluation. So we had, instead of having one master evaluation,